Got to put our opening song on. Oh my gosh. So here you go. There we go. We can't start without our opening song. It's so fun. Those sparkles just make me so happy. Hello, everybody. Welcome to New Earth Rising. Sharon and I are so happy to be here. We are going to be talking about psychic stuff today. I'm really excited. So, my name is MIchele Ambergy. I am a psychic. I'm a twice certified psychic. Been doing it professionally for, oh my gosh, since like 2000, 2002. So, it's been like decades. It's so weird, Sharon. We've been around for decades. What the heck? How did that happen?
I don't know.
It's weird. But you can find out more about me on my website, micheleambergy.com. I'm a professional, I do psychic work, intuitive work, healing, life coaching. I'm an intuitive for awakening star seeds and awakening all y'all out there, just as Sharon is too. We're both uh, hypnotherapists as well. And so it's really fun. Sharon and I, we just are so parallel with what we do. But I can let Sharon talk for herself. Sharon, let us know about you, girlfriend.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here again. We're back. We took a 2 week hiatus. Hopefully you missed us. I know that we miss being here. Eh, yes, I have been doing psychic mediumship work for about the same time, since around 2002, 2003, something like that. Yeah, since my NDE in 2001. And I love it. Love the work I do. Love the work that we do together.
Yeah.
And I'm in the Portland, Oregon area, and I love it here too. It's beautiful here in Oregon in the Northwest. We finally got some sun. Yay, it's been raining. And when you live in the Northwest, you got to kind of get used to the rain.
Yeah.
So when I moved back home, it took me a couple years to get used to it. But yeah, we have some sun today, and it looks like maybe spring be around the corner.
Nice. You can just,
Hmm.
so we start getting little tastes of it. And then I know down here, because I'm in Southern California, we never have rain like this. I mean, I've been in California for so long. Welcome to all of our friends who are here right now. Um, and we've just been getting rain and rain and rain, and then it looks like it's going to clear up, and then it's not even in the forecast, and we get rain again. And
Mm,
it's like, wow,
yeah.
wow. So it's good. The drought's over. I can tell you that much.
Right? Yeah.
But spring is here. It's coming. We've gone through the I like what I like to call the spring equinox.
Mm,
That's how I remember it's a equinox and not a solstice.
yeah.
It's the spring equinox. We've got all this stuff, and we've got a solar eclipse coming in next week. So I think Sharon and I will be talking about that next week on our show too. But
Nice.
this week we are talking about psychic. We're both going to talk a little bit about ourselves and how we kind of came to realize that we were psychic, that it was something, and some of the things that go on with being psychic, and some of the tips about being psychic. It's my personal belief, and Sharon, I think you believe that too, that everybody's psychic, right? We're
Right.
all psychic. It's just whether you're working with
Yes.
it consciously or not. And it seems like, as more and more people are just kind of waking up, and I know we use that as a catchphrase, but just becoming aware that there's more to life and there's more to this world than what is the basic thing, that a lot of people are starting to get attuned to their intuitive psychic abilities. And
Hmm.
so we really wanted to talk about that, and give you guys some ideas about what that might look like for you, because it is very different for everybody. That's one of the things that I have found, especially when I started teaching about it, quite some time ago, that almost everybody has some little different little quirk with the way that they are psychic. So we're going to talk about that today
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, that's a good point. I believe that everyone has their own clairs that are more pronounced for them, the
Mhm.
different clairs, for instance. And I also teach courses on this. And I'm more of a clairsentience, which is a clear feeler. I'm also
Yeah.
clairvoyant, but I trust my clairsentience more than anything, and claircognizance, which is clear knowing. So clear seeing. I mean, there's a few of them. Clear seeing, clear cognizance, clear knowing, clear sentience, clear feeling. And I go with my feelings a lot. So I'm a feeler. And the biggest deterrent I've found in working with people, and when I started working with my intuitive psychic abilities as well, is trusting what you're getting.
Yes.
Yeah, because we tend to think, oh, I'm just making this up. How would I know that? I must just be making it up, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, and I think to myself, I, I don't have that much of an imagination for one thing. Where is this coming from? How can I just make it up? I mean,
Yeah.
imagination is kind of our tool anyway for pretty much everything. But as you trust your abilities and start working with them, if that's what you want to do, and we can use it in our everyday life. You don't have to have a practice like Michelle and I do. Just using
No.
it in your everyday life and trusting your intuition, trusting your abilities. And we're psychic anyway, like Michelle was saying. If you have children, you have that psychic connection. Even your animals and your partners and your family group, if you're close, you have a psychic connection with them. You might know when something happens to them as a mother, when something happens with your child.
Oh yeah.
Or and I realize now that the veil is getting thinner, we're starting to have more and more psychic impressions. Like we know
Oh
when somebody's going to
yes.
call us, or something's going to happen, and you get premonitions and things like that. So it's happening more and more where we're waking up to our abilities.
Yeah. Absolutely. And one of the ways that you can use this psychic gift, and I always throw this out there because it's I is in relationships, because I used to always just love everybody. I still do love everybody, but I only love some people now. No, I love everybody. But allowing certain people in my life. And I'm like you, Sharon. I'm an empath first. I feel it first, and I feel what's going on. And then I get, clairvoyant kind of impressions, and I'll see things in my head, and then an understanding. So it's boom, 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 right?
Hmm.
And so many times I will meet somebody and everybody's like, oh my God, they're the best person. They're so wonderful, blah, blah, blah. And my guts are going, no, no. And I always wish I had listened, because I always end up getting into a situation that is uncomfortable and or bad. And especially with dating, if any of you are dating out there, listen to your gut feeling, because I can't tell you how many times I've gotten involved with someone. Red flags are also oftentimes felt by your psychic intuitive senses, where you're like, something's wrong here, or something's not quite right, or, I don't really like this person that much. And then all of a sudden, you've talked yourself into continuing that relationship, or someone else is like, oh, they're so wonderful. And, down the line, you said, man, I wish I would have listened to myself. I wish I would have listened to those red flags. I wish I had paid attention. And so that's one of the things that I work with all of my students and a lot of my clients, because a lot of people do come to me for relationship stuff, is listen to your gut. Your gut feelings are really true. And that's that empath. I really feel like that all of us feel so much more than we've given ourselves permission to feel.
Yeah.
We all feel that stuff.
Yeah, and I think men call it gut feeling normally, their psychic or intuitive abilities. They call it gut feeling, and that's where it is. That's where the clairsentience is. It's in our gut, in our solar plexus area. Yeah.
Yeah.
I also wanted, I get this question a lot is what is the difference between psychic and mediumship?
Yeah.
And psychic is being able to tune in to another person's energy or a situation or something like that energetically, that type of thing. Whereas mediumship is actually connecting to uh, beings across the veil or on the other side, actual beings, people who have crossed or guides. I also consider guides and angels as part of mediumship too. You can be a psychic without being a medium, but you can't be a medium without being a psychic.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the psychic and mediumship go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. So some people just don't connect to crossed over loved ones or anything like that, but they'll be able to look at your records or look at maybe a future for you or past or current situations. That's what
Mm.
psychic is.
Yeah. And psychics tune into those higher realms too. Um, Being psychic is also using those clair senses to be able to tap into like Akashic records, but it's called the Akashic records. I kind of call it the eternal now, um, where you can see all avenues, everything
Hmm.
that's going on, and be able to answer questions and stuff. And it's we all have the ability, and that's the thing. We all have that ability, and if you're interested in it, it's just learning how to use it. It's like we all have the ability to play the piano, but we're not virtuosos until we learn how to use the piano, until we learn how to use the instrument. And so it's super important to know that just because you're not automatically psychic doesn't mean you're not psychic or intuitive too. So it's fun.
Yes.
It's fun, and Sharon and I both do classes, and I actually have a class coming up this Saturday, and it's just a psychic development, and I believe in learning to use all of the clairs, which is clairsentience, clear
Hmm.
feeling, clairvoyance, which everybody's familiar with, clear seeing, clairaudience, clear hearing, clairsavance, the clear knowing, and then there's clairgoustiance, which is the smell and the taste and all of that too. And this is all kind of connected. And
Hmm.
when you open them all up, when you get them all active, when you know how to use them all, you have five senses to navigate your psychic experiences, your intuitive experiences, just like having five senses, in the third dimensional realm where you see and smell and hear and the other ones. Sense of feeling. When you have them all, it's easier to navigate, right? And so it's good to learn to do that. It's amazing. It's almost like because I've been teaching this for so long and I work with kids, I work with teenagers, I work with a lot of, all the ages. And it's like we should be teaching this in school. Should be teaching meditation, consciousness, and psychic intuitive abilities in school. I mean, people would be able to navigate their lives so much better if they understood these tools instead of it being, oh, that's weird, or oh, that's of the devil, or oh, that's witchcraft, or whatever. A lot of people um, have been taught, and I was taught this when I was young, is it's bad and it's evil and don't do it. And so it took me a while, even as I was having it and operating in that, to give myself permission to be like, okay, I am. So, hey, Spirit Song. We've
Hello,
got
spirit song.
Stephanie and Mandy and Emily. Emily is saying, hello, am I psychic? Yes.
Yeah, easy answer. Yes, you are.
All you got to do is learn how to use the tool, learn how to play the piano of your psychic abilities.
I found that some good ways to help with, eh, um, but tuning into your psychic abilities is to do things like paying attention to your dreams, writing your dreams down, practicing because the more you're conscious in your dream time and in your travels at night, then the more you are able to bring that higher frequency into this realm. So
Yeah.
you're because we use our intuitive senses, our clairvoyance. That's how we're able to see in the higher realms is through our third eye. We don't use our physical eyes. So you're tuning into those clairs and your intuitive abilities when you pay attention to your nighttime travels and you're conscious in your dream time, that type of thing with astral projection or lucid dreaming or anything like that. Then I found that that has helped me tremendously with my psychic abilities. It's when I'm when I pay attention to my travels. Another another way to help foster is remote viewing. You know, practicing remote viewing, that type of thing, using mental projection, and of course meditation.
Mhm.
Because what it does is it helps clear your channel. Meditation, reflection, devotion time. excuse me. Helps clear your channel so that you are excuse me, in tune with your abilities, your psychic abilities.
Yeah, absolutely. And meditation helps you to, still the mind so that you can perceive these things because the psychic and intuitive energies are very subtle. They're not energies that come, barreling in with a two by four. They're very subtle. They're a gentle feeling, a gentle whisper. I get my psychic stuff. It's like I get just little poofs, of visions, and I don't get like the whole movie spelled out. I get these little poofs, and I've
Mhm.
had to learn to read and to understand my psychic language. What does this mean? Why am I seeing a tractor and an apple pie and a white dog and a river? It's like, what is that? And I've had to learn to put these things together along with feeling. I oftentimes get words, like grandfather. Oh, okay. So we know we're tapping into grandfather. Grandfather was on a farm, lived by a river. Oh, okay. Right. And so we start learning to do our own language. But the meditation helps to still the mind and quiet the mind. And another thing that's important too is clearing your chakras because your chakras are a big part of those clairs because your clairs are connected to the chakras. Like the third eye chakra, very connected to your clairvoyance. Your navel chakra, very connected to the empath and the clairsentience. Crown chakra, very connected to third eye, and crown chakra to the clairvoyance. And so it's important. And also, as a psychic, we use a lot of the heart and throat chakras as well in that work because it moves through. Most of us, as being sensitive, part of the empathic energy is also using our heart energy and our love energy to be in that space and to be able to share that energy with other presences and stuff. So it's like you want to develop all of it, and you want to have a meditation practice, and you want to clear your chakras. That's why I have a bunch of meditations on my YouTube channel, and I do have a violet flame meditation for anybody, and it goes through the chakras and clears the chakras because that helps so much. Clear the chakras. Do a little meditation every day, and practice, practice, practice. Right? We
Definitely.
need to do that practicing.
Yeah, definitely. So, hey, Shelley. So, Spirit Song, you said, Sharon, I'm still waiting to hear from you. I apologize. I did not know you were waiting to hear from me. Um, so, miscommunication. I don't have your contact information. So,
I think she friended you on Facebook.
okay.
I think she sent you a friend request on Facebook. I
Okay.
can connect you guys up too.
All right. Yeah. Or just send me a message on Facebook then, Spirit Song, and we'll set something up to have you on my channel. Um, yeah.
It was so
So
good.
sorry about that.
Spirit Songs is going to be on Sharon's YouTube.
Yeah, I apologize. I've been sick the last couple weeks anyway, last 10 days, so I haven't been doing much. Anyway, um,
Yeah,
okay.
you've been so busy too, Sharon. You probably needed that quiet time.
Yeah, probably.
Spirit will do that sometimes. It's like,
Yeah,
goodbye,
I know, right? Unfortunately.
down you go.
Yeah, so going back to psychic abilities, like what we were saying earlier is that all have them. We all have intuitive intuitive abilities because we were born with them. It's actually natural for us to have these abilities.
Yeah,
What's not natural is not trusting it and not tuning into it and not being aware of it. That's what's not natural. We've been programmed to not be natural. So,
so true.
yeah, so know that this is actually when you get psychic impressions and intuitive impressions and that kind of thing, or see dead people or whatever it is that, that it's going on, that's actually pretty natural for us. We've been doing it for a very long time. It's just that, like Michelle was talking about, religions and things like that, and lots of programming have have demonized it, demonized us being able to tap into our natural abilities.
Yeah,
Yeah, and just like everything else, some of us have abilities that are more pronounced
yeah.
in certain areas than every than other people. So, but it is natural for us to be psychic.
And you'll find that children are very psychic and intuitive. And then a lot of times we're told not to be because it scares people. I remember, and I tell this all the time. I'm gonna share it again. I'm probably most people on here have heard it, but when I was in fifth grade, we had kind of been moving around, and we had come back to California, and I was in fifth grade, and I was the new kid in the class, and we were out on the playground, and all the kids had gone in, and I, to kind of not knowing the schedule, I was like, oh wait, everybody's gone. And all of a sudden I looked up in the sky and I saw three angels flying across the sky, and they were all like rainbow colors. It was so pretty. I was like, wow. So I ran into my classroom and ran up to the teacher and I said, there's angels on the playground. And it was dead silence in the class, and I just felt this feeling in my heart, and the whole class burst out laughing.
Oh, wow.
And the teacher made me go to the principal, and the principal told my mom that I had to go have a psychiatric evaluation before I could come back to school.
Are you kidding me?
Talk about shutting a kid down, right?
Oh, that's awful.
So my mom took me to a psychiatrist, and they said, those are signs of being psychotic, and we're going to put her on lithium. And thank God my mom was like, oh, hell no. She's not doing that. So she just went back, and however, and I was back in school in a couple of days. But yeah, so my mom was just like, we don't tell people. We don't tell people about this.
Yeah.
And I, right, squished it down until I was really a mom, until I
Yeah,
was a
that's
mom.
awful. Yeah, I learned the hard way too as a kid. Although I didn't tell people in school, I told my parents, and they're like, let's not talk about that," because
I was
I was seeing premonitions of what was happening,
mm,
and I'd tell my mom, "Oh, I knew that that was going to happen.
I
I saw
saw that.
that."
It was something I used to do too with people is I would, at the time I thought I was stepping into their body. Now I realize I was just feeling them, right? That I was
Mm.
expanding my field and feeling them to know if they were safe or not safe, or, what's going on with them. But before, I used to feel like I was stepping into them, checking them out, good, bad. friend or foe kind of a thing, and then coming back in. And that was something else that I did. And that's that empath thing, right? Or
Yeah.
possession. I'm not sure. But I realized that I was doing that after I started learning about this. I was like, ooh, I hope that wasn't bad.
Well, we're all one anyway, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It was cool though. It was a good way to find out if, as a kid, if this is someone to keep close or not. And we lose that, especially going through puberty and that kind of stuff. I think we get that emotional roller coaster and we all kind of turn into crazy people. And
Yeah, and
so,
our what's the word I'm trying to think of? Our focus is on the outside world as we get older.
yeah,
And when you're a kid, you're more focused on your inner world.
yeah,
And so as we get older, we're programmed to that the outside world is what's important and real when it's the
yeah,
actual opposite. Everything we've been taught is a lie. And so it's the actual opposite because we know that the outside world reflects what we have going on inside. So if we don't take care of the inside, the outside isn't so great
yeah,
either.
yeah, yeah. And then we keep wondering why the world keeps beating us up, right? Why it
Mhm.
always looks like they're doing it to us. They're responsible for my misery. That is responsible for my misery. And until we take responsibility for what we're doing in the inner, we're always going to be in that dual experience and in that fighting and that resisting and fighting what's outside when it isn't outside, it's within. It's within, and that's one of the big things I teach even when I do, psychic work with people, is teaching people that what you're experiencing is directly related to what's inside. So let's go inside what's happening within. And
Right.
that's something else that you guys can keep, and a thought in your mind too as you begin to develop your psychic senses, as you begin to be self-aware and you begin to take responsibility for your experiences, because you begin to realize that this is the center, and it's that focusing and allowing yourself to feel what you're feeling, right? Experiencing, when you begin to be attuned psychically, you are attuning to your inner world, and you begin to realize that it's all inside, it's all the inner
Mhm.
workings. And once you do that, and the cool thing about that is once you do that, you begin to be aware that as within, so without, right? As above, so below, as within, so without. It gives you back the power. As long as the problems are always outside of yourself, as long as it's always a projection outside, you're not in control, because your mind is that it's something else doing it to you. But once you realize, oh, wait a minute, this is something within me, you can control that, right? You can have control of what's going on within you. And when you begin to take control and begin to understand yourself and no longer have the outer feel like it's coming at you, and you clear it up within, you no longer have that resistance, that fight, that struggle with the outer. And all of a sudden, you are gaining mastery over yourself and your life. And it's all related to intuition and the psychic abilities as well. And so that's what's so powerful about that. And that's why I really wanted to talk about this now. And because I've got a class coming up, teach you guys all this stuff. And I think Sharon's got something coming up too. Don't you have something? Did you have
Uh,
something next
no, I always have
month?
something coming up. My next classes are um what is it? At the end of the month, I have Akashic records, reading Akashic records,
Ooh,
and yeah, and clearing karmic programming, and then then I have my astral projection and lucid dreaming course after that. Also, if anyone's in person, I have here in the area, in Beaverton, in person, I mean local, sorry. If you're in the area, I have a spoon bending class
ooh,
on the
but there
30th.
is no spoon.
There is no spoon. Yes.
So you so you don't need to go because there is no spoon, there is no class. It's just
There
all,
is no you.
but you do have to send the registration fee.
Yeah, right. So that's what I got going on so far. Yeah, my next psychic development course will be in July.
Yeah, very cool.
Mhm.
Very cool.
Yeah,
It's, it's so, and I really feel like as we're moving into, the rest of this year and with people really starting to realize there's more, that kind of training is going to be very, very important because it's connecting us to who we really are.
mhm.
We got these what we've called gifts for so long that are just innate abilities, and it's time to
You know,
get connected with it.
yeah, because, we're moving up in frequency, our planet, humanity, everything's we're moving up or in, whatever we wanna call it. Things are going faster, spinning faster, we're spinning faster. So, we do have to get with it,
Yeah.
right? And what you were talking about with victimhood, Michelle, a little while ago, I wanted to mention that on the spiritual scale of evolution, victimhood is down at the bottom. And when you
Yeah.
think about us as a child, um, because I think of people who are in victimhood, and we've all been there, right?
Yep,
As
absolutely.
Yeah, as being like a
Absolutely.
kindergartner or a, preschooler or something like that. Because when you think of little toddlers who, their whole world is about them, right?
Yep.
It's all about them, and that's what, on this, spiritual evolutionary scale, as an adult or in our spiritual progress, victimhood, where everything is, again, the world is against me kind of thing, and that we don't take responsibility for what's happening with in our life, the good and the bad, just like Ho'oponopono teaches, um, that we are responsible for everything, the good and what we consider the bad that happens in our life. So, like you said, once we take responsibility for it, then you know then our psychic abilities, our intuitive abilities, all of the world, the universe opens up for us
Yeah.
because we're not constricted anymore. Because when we're in victimhood and blaming everyone else and everything else, we're constricted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We're not in that in and out, that give and take flow that is the natural divine order too. And so, and like you said, Sharon, we've all been there. And I go there. Some matter of fact, I caught myself the other day doing something. And I was like, well, if they hadn't blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, wait, 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 wait. Right? It's kind of a natural thing that we do too,
Mhm.
but we can catch ourselves. Like, well, wait a minute, what is it within me that brought that about?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's boundaries, sometimes it's just saying no, you know,
Yeah, a little
sometimes it's,
toddler raises her head right there, raises her hand. That little toddler that throws her little conniption fit or little temper tantrum. It's them. They're the
yeah,
bad ones.
if I just had that, I'd be fine. If they would just do this, I'd be fine.
If they just
If they
understand
would,
me.
yeah, if they just stop, I'd be fine. And it's that's we're programmed that way.
Yeah.
But when we begin to understand what it is within us that's allowing it or creating it, it puts the power back in our hands, and that's the good news. That's the good news. But it's a big leap sometimes,
Mhm.
and it's not something, nobody does it 100% either, right? So just so you guys know, I always say you don't have to be perfect, you just have to participate, right?
Right.
You just got to try a little bit.
I was gonna say you just have to pretend to be perfect.
You just have to pretend.
Yeah, fake it till
I'm
you make it.
yeah, I'm not perfect. I just play one on
Just
TV,
the
on YouTube. I just play perfect on YouTube. Yeah. So everybody is psychic. You're every one of you guys that are watching this, whether you're here with us now or watching later, you are psychic. You are intuitive. It's a natural part and it is connected to the imagination. When the imagination is allowed to roam, you are in that flowing, what I call divine intuitive connection. You know, you're in that flow and you connect into that. And if you think about it, artists, musicians, poets, authors, anybody who's creating anything, architects, everything that's created comes through the imagination, right? And it requires that imagination slash intuitive connection. And we're all creators. That's the other thing that we haven't been told. We're all creators and we create from our imagination, right? So that's where that divine flow is
we're creating all the time.
all the time.
Every moment. We're
Yep.
creating this right now.
I know, and it's awesome.
We create
Yep.
it is, yeah, so we're constantly creating. We create with our actions, our words, turn left, turn right, whatever we do, we're
Yeah.
constantly creating.
Yeah. And
We're
it's
yeah.
really cool when you can take a moment and look around where you're at this very moment and look at the people that are around you, the objects that are around you, the situations that are around you, and they're awesome. And you're just like, wow, look at these wonderful people I have around me. Look at my home. It's so cool. You know, look at my life. It's so happy. It doesn't have to be perfect, but when you can look around and say, yeah, this is good. This is good. You know that you're operating in that field of that divine flow, you know, and that's the intuition is guiding you and leading you to make those choices for you to be where you're at right now. Is everybody always 100% happy 100% of the time? No, you know, because we're all growing and learning and changing, figuring it out. But that's okay because that's how we do it. And we just get better and better and learn and better and better and better. And then eventually we don't have to be in this dualistic third dimensional realm where that is one of the learning tools that we have. Hey, Diane.
Hey, Diane. Good to see you, Diane.
I love your name. Every time you get on here, I'm like, Diane, yeah. I can't say it, but I like it.
So you were talking about mastery, so I pulled this book out, The Way of Mastery.
Yes.
Highly recommend it. I'm
I've got that on my Amazon cart wish list.
yeah, I finally got past the first page. I'm on page 8.
Right on. It's meaty, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good though. I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. It's definitely a lifelong study and good stuff. We
Oh,
love you
we love
too,
you too,
Diane.
Diane.
Uh,
Thank you. And you know, and that's another thing when just when I look down our chat box here and see every name that's on here, it's like, look at these wonderful people that are being drawn to this show, Sharon. And
yeah.
what we've created in our lives and that we've allowed in our lives are these amazing people. Super cool.
Mhm. I know. Yeah, just feel really blessed every day, every moment. Yeah. And that's a good point is for helping to tune into your intuitive abilities is gratitude.
Yes.
Yeah, and noticing all the blessings around you, that also opens up your channel big time. Gratitude and love are the two of the highest frequencies that we can tap into. Those are the highest frequencies we can tap into. And so and I'm sure everyone here knows this and practices it on a regular basis, but sometimes we need a little, um, reminder once in a while. I know I do sometimes, but, yeah, just noticing everything that we're blessed with every day, a roof over our head, a meal on our table, good good friends, a family around us that loves us, that kind of thing. Whatever we got going on, there's always something to be grateful for.
Yeah, absolutely. And, a grateful heart and a grateful mind is an open heart and an open mind. And that's really what creates all that too. And it's 4:44 right now. That angelic portal opening, right as we're
Nice.
talking about this. I love this. I've been seeing the 440, the numbers, so much lately. And it's really just to shake us open. And you guys, we've got this super potent solar eclipse, new moon solar eclipse coming next week too. It just popped into my head.
Mm.
You guys may be feeling that veil being very thin and having your own little whoosh, little flashes of things, little intuitions, little knowings, because this one is really powerful. It's supposed to be one that's going to be viewable from the United States.
That's what I
And
was
then,
gonna ask you.
yeah, it's viewable. I think it's on the East Coast, but the next one that is on the woo, on the May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, for those of you that celebrate. Um, yeah, Monica, the 444, I've been seeing it like twice I wake up in the
Nice.
middle of the night at 444. But the
Yeah, me
one
too.
that's on May 5th, Cinco de Mayo, which is also a 5-5 portal, is going to be what they call a ring of fire, and it's going to be going right over the United States. So those of
Oh,
us that are
nice.
here, it's supposed to be, it's some people are saying it's going to be the great awakening thing, right? There's going to be such a massive shift on that.
Oh, here's what it says: October 14th, 2023, an annular solar eclipse will create a ring of fire in the sky from Oregon to Texas.
Yep, and that's the 25th,
It said October 14th, 2023.
October 14th, yep. And this one is like it's like a pre one that's
Okay,
getting ready for that. Yeah,
okay.
absolutely.
Nice. From
Absolutely. I mean,
Oregon to
these are
Texas. Nice.
super powerful. And the thing about the eclipses too is they create almost like parentheses around periods of time that are energetic. And one of the parentheses is like the first one of the year, which when they're talking about this, it's April 1st as the beginning of the year, not January 1st as the beginning of the year. And then uh the March of the next year, whatever those eclipses are within there, or parentheses within that each year, that will
Mhm.
affect you differently according to your astrological chart and the houses and all that kind of stuff. But this one is, oh, that's her son's birthday. I love it. Um,
Nice.
but these ones are intense as eclipses are. And it's so important. It's so important that we use that because we are awakening. That's what the awakening is, and the intuition and the psychic ability is a part of that awakening.
Mhm.
And, that's why we're talking more and more about it too, because I know
Well,
you guys have had things happen, everybody that's watching
yeah, and what we're doing is stepping into our own our superpowers.
are superpowers.
And this is why the what do you call them? I don't know what to call them anymore. The controllers, they're not controlling anymore, have been afraid of us for so long, for 1,000 years or more, because we have these superpowers. And that's why they've clipped our DNA,
Yeah.
have clipped our wings,
Yeah.
literally,
Literally.
literally, yeah. And because we are so powerful.
Yeah. And we're organic. And that's part of
Mm,
what we're seeing right now is everything organic is being taken away too.
yeah.
You know, it's we're organically God. and it's all being taken away
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
trying to.
trying to create, merges with AI, that kind of thing, and, create the Borg.
I'm not doing it. I refuse.
If anyone here watches Star Trek, did the Borg scare the crap out of you like it did and does me whenever I see an episode with the Borg?
Yeah. Just that word, like, sends chills up my spine.
I know, right?
It's
Yeah,
just creepy. It's like, "No, no Borg, no
because
Borg."
I think Star Trek is another documentary type of thing like Matrix and everything.
Yeah,
So, I
predictive.
think, yeah, we're actually remembering these things. No, it's in our psyche deep.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And, we've done this before, and here we are again.
Yeah. Yeah, the
So,
Borg, very scary. Totally. You're right, Monica, they are so scary.
Borg, what a word.
Grob, spelled backwards, grob.
Grob, the grobs. That's even better. And that's like in the Stargate thing too, the gruel.
Oh, the gruel, yeah.
Yeah, it's like these words that we give them, they're so like, ew. But it's good. We get the point. We get the point.
Yeah, I used to watch that one a long time ago when it first came out. I never did watch the Atlantis ones or the spin-offs, but I heard they were good, but I didn't watch them.
I watched Stargate for probably the first 4 seasons or so, and then they got super repetitive. So
Mhm.
I was like, it's the same thing. I know it's going to happen.
That's because 'cause you're psychic.
Well, and then there's that. And it's so cute. And also another thing, just real quick, just to kind of add into the psychic thing is, oftentimes it does run in lineages. It does
Oh, yeah.
run within your family too. Um, I kind of cracked up because when I was little, I was super psychic and I always knew when my grandma was going to call and I just knew things. And and I remember, a couple of times they'd be like, shh, let's, we're not going to talk about that, Mikey. And after I started opening up, my mom said, "Oh, yeah, I'm clairvoyant too." And I went, "Oh, you're just saying that. You're just saying that because I'm clairvoyant. You're just saying that." And she would pop off with some things and be like, "Oh." And then she said, "Do you remember when Grandma Nona used to go sit out in the back she had like this little wood thing. We called it the wood pile. And she would sit out there and just stare out in the space. Yeah, she was doing psychic work. She was doing psychic work. And now that I have a daughter and a granddaughter, I'm seeing how psychic they are.
Yeah, it's usually on the female side of the family.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I get it from both sides. I get it from my mom's side, and then my father was Native American, and he was super psychic, and he was known up in Santa Cruz. He would freak people out. He was the mechanic, but he'd freak people out because he'd be like, "Oh, your daughter's not gonna get married next weekend." Or, "Oh, oh, you need to get that tire fixed. There's nothing wrong with my tire." And then 2 days later, they're like, "Oh, I got a flat tire." He used to freak people out doing stuff like that, super psychic. So I've got it coming down both sides. And so I'm seeing it manifesting in my kids. And it'd be interesting to know how many of you guys that are experiencing all this, if you can, recollect if it's from your lineage too, and where it comes down, because it seems to be stronger in people that have acknowledged their lineage with it too. If they know that their mom was intuitive, it's more, and I'm sure it's because it's allowed more,
Mhm.
right? You don't get that whole shutdown experience.
Yeah, we don't have the witch hunts for that anymore, for that type of thing anymore. We have other witch hunts, but, not for that. Because 'cause I'm
Now we have
sure
trolls that come in and disturb
we
things.
right, they're called trolls now. Um, but, I'm sure that a lot of people watching probably have some memory or an inkling of being, persecuted as a witch or in some manner for your
Yeah.
intuitive or psychic abilities, or it may not even be psychic abilities. It could be just, being a herbalist or
A healer.
um, some kind of a holistic practitioner where you
Yeah.
practice the earth religions or earth, types of healings.
And it takes intuition to do that kind of stuff too.
Sure.
You know, it's not just book learning on what herb goes with what, but that's
Mhm.
healing isn't very intuitive. Matter of fact, that's how my intuition really started opening up again is when I started studying pranic healing
Mm.
and then Reiki and then energy. And all of a sudden I was like, oh, hey, I am psychic. All these years knowing stuff I didn't know I knew, but I knew.
Yeah, see, for kids, it's natural.
Yeah.
It's natural for us. Plus, we also talk to our guides and our angels and dead people
And
as
dead people.
kids, you
And the
know?
lion under my bed that kept grabbing my feet.
Wow.
I
Yeah.
still to this day take a little leap into my bed.
Oh, really?
This little one. I always just have this thing in my head. Something's gonna grab me from under my bed. That stuff sticks, man.
Mm. I think it was closets. Closets.
And closets, yeah. And
Yeah.
all of those experiences children as children are all part of our intuitive, structures that we have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. So embrace your abilities. Embrace them. Don't, and
Embrace.
it's easy to be afraid of mediumship, I think, if a
Yeah.
lot of people who are just starting to open up to their abilities, especially with mediumship, it can be scary to see.
Yeah, to see dead people. And what's interesting too is I know I didn't wanna do mediumship. I didn't wanna see dead people. You've got Sharon is frozen a little bit. And I didn't want to, and I was watching, John Edwards on TV, and I felt a push from behind, and the words, "Go do that." And I was like,
you
"No."
know
And I
dead
got
people
pushed again from
around you,
behind
or
and said, "Go do that." And then all of a sudden, I started having experiences where I was experiencing people on the other side. I was like, "Oh, okay," because I didn't want to talk to dead people at all. It was like, "Mm-mm, not doing it."
in my back.
So Sharon, yeah, we do. You're a
Glitchy.
little bit fuzzy and a little bit glitchy.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I'm back. Yeah, I've been having internet problems today. Um, shows that I'm having internet connection
Yeah.
trouble. Anyway, yeah, dead people, and uh, it can be scary. So you can set boundaries. That's what I had to do was set boundaries with spirit and say, hey, I'm not open 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
you know, I'm only open from this time to this time. And I appreciate you coming around and, maybe needing help or wanting to communicate with someone, but uh, I need to set boundaries because I do have a human life here
Yeah.
that I need
Yeah.
to live. So yeah,
I always ask them to go through Archangel Michael, and Archangel Michael will
a
contact me.
gatekeeper, a
Yeah, the
gatekeeper.
gatekeeper.
It's good to have a gatekeeper. Yeah.
Yeah. And that helps a lot. Was working in a place in Laguna Beach that was an old morgue. And it had been a morgue, it had been a orphanage, it had been a church they had found that there had been pedophilia going on,
Oh.
and so it had gnarly energy, and it was pretty bad, and after I quit working there, I woke up one night and there were a line of children with their mouths sewed shut and their eyes sewed shut, and they were all gray and dingy, and there was this line of children,
Oh.
and they were just standing there like, "Help us," and I was like, "Oh my god," and I felt this immense pressure on me, and I all I got out was, "Archangel Michael and Jesus help these children," and then I just, like, passed out. It was crazy. It's like I'm like, mm-mm. I have protocols in place. I have laws and rules in place. And so I kind of redid my protocols again and my safety structures because that kind of freaked me out. That was intense.
Yeah, that's spirit rescue work. You know, a lot of spirits will come to you if they
Yeah.
know that you can see them or you know,
Yeah.
intuit that they're there,
Yeah.
um, for to help them.
Yeah.
It's not unusual
Yeah.
because a lot
And
of
so I did the next
spirits
day I
need
did
help.
do some spirit work and help to release these beings, but it was so intense I could tell I was going to conk out, right?
Yeah.
Because it was so much. And so that's why I call in Archangel Michael and Jesus handle it. Right? It's like I got to get something in here. Spirit Song saying her gatekeeper is an owliphant. I love it.
Elephant.
That sounds very Tolkien.
Oh, Diane, you're so sweet. Yes, it was an honor to communicate with your mom. I'm glad it
Yeah.
was helpful. Yeah. So Chaley
Um,
says, Jesus take the wheel. Exactly.
Jesus, take the wheel. Absolutely. I've
Chaley says,
done
I'm
that a few
fortunate
times.
enough to be really good at just blocking it.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you mean spirits coming to you, Chaley.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I usually am too, but there's been a couple times where they come barging in. The other one was and I shared with you guys the, the kids up in Idaho that had been murdered at the end of last year. They came
Mm.
in the night that they had been that had happened the next morning. All of a sudden, I'm blah, 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 and talking, and I'm like, "What is going on?" And I finally, realized that it was four kids, and they were talking, and it was him, and it was brother, and you got it done, and all this, and I'm like, "So you guys gotta stop." And got them kind of settled down. I did more work on settling them down. And finally, oh, I'm getting chills, able to work with them a little bit to find out. I didn't even know what was going on. It wasn't for 2 days, and then I saw it on TV or something, and I was like, "Oh, that's what's going on here with these kids." Because I had their names. I had 2 of the girls' names, but I couldn't figure out what was going
So
on.
you have family in Idaho, right?
And I have family
Isn't
in
because there's
Idaho.
a connection. There has to be a
There's
connection.
definitely a connection
Mhm.
going on there, and if I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken, I think my cousin went to, uh, that school. I'm not 100% sure, but I think she did.
Okay.
So there's
Okay.
definitely a connection, but whoo, yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
"Mm-mm, you don't come barging in on me." And we can
So I miss. Go ahead.
I was saying, and you can do that too. It's another thing with developing your psychic abilities. Always make sure that you're working with someone who teaches you how to have those protocols and how to put up those boundaries so you don't get bombarded all the time.
Right. I
Shady,
like what Diane said. Your
Moscow, Idaho.
granddaughter, Moscow,
Yeah,
Idaho.
Moscow, Idaho is University of Idaho, Moscow.
Diane, your granddaughter told her dad, your son, yeah, to not cut down a certain tree because her fairy friend lived there. I love that.
Oh, yeah, Shaylee. Yeah, there were four students that were killed. If you go on YouTube and put in hashtag Idaho 4, you'll find all kinds of information. All kinds of information. And that's where mediumship comes in because I didn't want to jump in, but I had so much information. It was kind of cool that as it started uh, unfolding, that a lot of the stuff that I'd gotten that the kids were telling me were true. And they actually gave me a visual of the guy that did it and the guy that they have now in custody. That was him.
You know, one thing about working with spirit that I've noticed is that a lot of mediums are kind of afraid of spirit. You know what I
Ah,
mean? And they don't. Some mediums I know will not work with a person, a spirit, because they're people that has not crossed over. Okay, they won't even they won't even deal with them if they come to them. They don't
Oh,
allow them, and I think that to me that's to me, everyone's different, but it's kind of rare. But every once in a while, I'll find, you know, someone who'll come to me that maybe committed suicide or was murdered or something in a session that isn't quite is confused or wants to let their loved one know certain things before they move across into the light.
yeah, yeah,
Doesn't mean they're gone, but but they're there's a reason for that. So so I would say not to be afraid of spirit. Don't, because they're just people
yeah,
like us. They just don't have a body anymore. Um, and when spirit needs help, they'll notice that we have a light bulb like above our head if we're able to see into the higher realms, or be able to see spirit, or communicate with spirit. So I always try to be as respectful as possible with spirit who may be around and need help or something like that, and just talk to them like I would anyone else on the street, and be as kind as possible and compassionate, because sometimes people just need help.
yeah. And that's one of the things. If you're going to do that kind of work, it's good to learn how to do some spirit rescue and
Yeah.
to help them cross over, because there will be people that come to you, and I find a lot of times it is like suicide kind of stuff. Um, and some of it is because they're scared if they go to God that they're going to get sent to hell. I've had that happen so many times. And it's like, no, 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 no. That's not how that works. And learning to do that.
Yeah. What is that, Sheila? Yeah, psychopomp work, exactly. I actually teach a course on that,
Yeah.
on spirit rescue, or psychopomp work, definitely.
Yeah. I include it in all my psychic development, all of my mediumship development classes. It's just a part of the curriculum.
Can you put up Shaylee's
Which
comments,
one do we want to
Michelle?
do? I had a spirit one.
I had a spirit one, yeah.
I had a spirit tell me on YouTube live with confirmations from the person's spirit box that she was murdered and buried under a rose bush. Wow. Here, I'm going to put the rest of it up. The chick who's apparently a ghost hunter just acted like it wasn't even a big deal. Wow.
Okay, so you didn't know how. Is it her next comment? Yeah. Um, well, hopefully she ended up getting help. Ghost hunters don't, I've noticed that a lot of ghost hunters don't do that kind of work. And that's okay. It's a different, not everyone wants to do it, but usually ghost hunters are just for the ghost
They're hunters.
part of it. They're hunting for ghosts.
Yeah.
So it's not something that they put usually. And I'm not saying everyone, but what I've seen, um, popular ghost hunters don't do that kind of work.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and that's why a lot of times, yeah, they can be very disrespectful. I used to do some of that, not ghost hunting, but um, like the paranormal investigation
paranormal
and stuff like
investigation,
that.
yeah,
And
same here.
I'd always do healing and that kind of stuff with it. And I noticed a lot of people don't. A lot of people just don't. And I think, well, what are you doing then if you're not there to help those that are needing help? It's like, what's the point? Oh, Shaylee is saying,
To the point of another
yeah, like, okay, so
medium.
she's talking about the confirmation she had, like to the point of another medium confirmed the details with details about the murder afterwards. Yeah. She's saying she still feels bad. She wasn't.
Well, we can tune in and see if this person needs help. Why don't we tune in?
Yeah, Shaylee, do you have a first name on this young lady? Wow. Yeah, Shaylee's got another thing here too. Are you reading that?
Yeah, an 8-year-old boy who had drowned in a nearby lake
Shaylee
there that
didn't get a name about the gal that was buried. Well, let's do one at a time. Do you want to tap into that young lady under the rose bush?
Sure, let's do that. We can all do this together.
Yeah, because this is part of it. Yeah, Shaylee's saying she was murdered by a man who wore glasses about 25 years ago. It's interesting
Okay.
because I'm feeling this. I'm feeling that spirit.
So our intention is to help this person if she needs help.
Yeah, I just heard her say, "I'm here."
Um, she wants her family to have closure. Okay. It's also a choice to move across.
Yeah,
Sometimes people stay on the earth plane because of reasons like this, where something is unsolved, and so they might stick around to help solve a uh, a murder or something like that.
like she's showing me too. She's showing me the rose bush.
Does she need help?
You know what? She's showing me that she is in the light. She's showing me that she walked into the light. But what's interesting, Sharon, is I'm not seeing her move into the light. It's like she's at the entrance of the portal. And she keeps showing me this rose bush and that she's a part of the rose bush now, that every year when that rose bush blooms, that's her. That she's part of that rose bush now.
Mm. I don't feel like she's asking for help either.
Mm,
Yeah. So I believe that she's all right.
yeah.
Again, it's a choice. I don't feel she needs help. I'm not getting it. I mean,
Yeah.
we can ask for a portal to be brought, a a column of light just in case, but I don't feel she needs help. We can ask Archangel
No.
Michael. Whew, okay. I felt that. So if she does want to move across and hasn't, Archangel Michael has the portal, the column there for her where she can move across. Hmm. And we would just ask her to do that if she
Yeah.
wants to.
Moving into that. And I do a little prayer that I do that I'd like to do. Can I do that?
Of course.
And I speak to this sweet little girl, and I tell you, beloved ones, that you are freed from whatever holds you in this earthly plane. You are filled and surrounded with Christ's love, and filled and surrounded with Christ's light. And go now with Christ Jesus, who stands before you, to take you to your perfect right place. Go now and go in peace. You are healed and you are forgiven. You are healed and you are forgiven. You are healed and you are forgiven. Holy One, you are freed from whatever holds you in this earthly plane. You are filled and surrounded with God's love, and filled and surrounded with God's light. And go now with God and the angels who stand before you, and they'll take you to your perfect right place. And beloved one, you can go now, and you can take the rose with you. She wants to take the rose with her. Take that with you and know that you are free now. Go now and go in peace. You are healed and you are forgiven now and always. So be it and so it is. Mm,
Okay.
yeah. She was fascinated with that rose. Yeah. Mm.
So Shaylee says that she thinks she wants her body found. You know, that will happen in due time with in the highest good of all involved. And
Well, Shaylee, go ahead and let her go. Give her, tell her, because you're very connected energetically to this. Yeah, I was getting a T name too. But Shaylee, go let her go. 'Cause you're connected to this and give her permission to go too. And tell her that she can go. She can help more from the other side than she can from staying here.
that's what I was going to say. She can
Yeah.
do more. Yeah, she can do
It's
more
not
from
about her bothering you, Shaylee. It's about you letting go. Very cool. Yeah. Yeah. You had an emotional charge. Yeah. Yeah. Good job, Shaylee.
hmm
Go now and go in peace.
She'll
Night.
also have clarity. She'll have clarity in the light. When we're stuck on the earth plane, we don't have clarity. We're still caught up in the emotion of the experience,
Yeah.
and
In the
we
drama.
can't, yeah, and we can't grow. And things don't make sense. So yeah, it needs she needs to go into the light or that space of her oversoul where she'll have clarity.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
Okay.
and and it is just as simple as that. And there's so many different ways that you can use your psychic and intuitive ability. You can do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Uh, and some people kind of have a natural ability to kind of do that stuff. I know that that's something, even though I thought becoming a medium, I've always been able to just tell any kind of dark things or things that I know that just aren't good or stuck spirits to be able to move on. I think Sharon, you have too. You kind of have that natural ability to help them cross over.
Yeah. I don't I mean, I don't remember the exact moment when it started, but I just um on my EVPs I was hearing spirit say help, help me, help me. I remember that too, and I realized I need to figure this out. Why is there so many people saying help?
Yeah,
Help me, on my spirit box sessions and my EVPs and things like that when I was doing psychic or paranormal investigations. And so then I started dedicating that to um, spirit rescue.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
that's super cool. I lived in a house that was haunted, and it was on Native American land, and there had been children buried in on that hill. I think probably right underneath this house I was on, and there was actually an entity that had trapped the children. And so we had to that's where I learned very, very much about entity clearing, dark entity clearing to release spirits. And once we started doing that, all HE double hockey sticks broke loose in that house, and I actually ended up moving out because
wow.
we left it clean and clear, right? But it was like, oh no, I'm not leaving. I left my deposit on the house. I'm like, I am out of here. That place was so haunted. And there's a point at which some beings, they don't want to go. They have free will too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, when you work with people as a medium, you might feel. Can you put Shaylee's comment up?
Mhm.
Because I just want to. It's a good point because if you are working with people as a medium and a psychic as well, or in just in everyday life, you might feel how they died in your body.
Mhm.
And I've noticed that spirit will do that um, to help you connect with them
Mhm.
for one way. Yeah, and you know, and if you're working with someone, a client, it's also good evidence for them too
Yeah.
to be able to feel it in your body. So it's pretty normal, actually, to feel how someone died in your body as a
Yeah.
medium.
And you're allowed to dial it up or dial it down too. Matter of fact,
Right.
I'm doing a spirit
Good
circle
point.
tonight to connect with people on the other side, and I do, evidence, and I always get 3 pieces of evidence, and one of them is, "How did you pass away?" I feel in my body where things, sometimes they'll show me the situation, but I feel it. Oh, I'm feeling, my heart, or I'm feeling back problems, stomach problems, moving up to the throat. Oh yeah, they had kidney disease or whatever. But remember, you can control it, and give yourself permission to know that you can, and dial it up and dial it down. And always, Shaylee, if you're having these experiences, especially watching other people, clear yourself when you get done, because some people just open portals to everything. You get all kinds of weird energies coming in. So always make sure that you're clearing yourself and cutting cords and all that stuff too.
Yeah, and have some kind of a ritual where you close off everything
Yeah,
and use your guidance, use your gatekeepers, use all the all your guides and to
yeah.
do that and to close everything. I have a story that I like to tell. When I first started working with spirit, I was doing a psychic fair, and I was with a gentleman, and and I had his brother. His brother came through, who was on the other side, and I was having this really strong pain in my back. And I said, "Did he have back problems? Because my back hurts." And I was just starting to work with spirit. It's 20 years ago or whatever, and I didn't have I was just starting to understand it. And he goes, "No, I don't remember him having any back problems at all." I'm like, "It's weird because my back really hurts." A little while later in the reading, he tells me that his brother was stabbed in the back. That's how he died. I'm like, that would explain why my back hurts so
That
bad.
happens a lot. That's why sometimes it's nice to have people come in pairs or groups, because the person who's getting the reading, like, no, I have no idea what that is, and their sister will go,
Uh,
well, he was
what? Yeah.
stabbed in the back. And you know what, Shaylee? Because you're so sensitive, Shaylee is saying that she just taught herself. You might want to take a class with someone who can teach you some tips and some tricks, because you're obviously very sensitive to stuff. You're obviously, and I have a mediumship class, that's actually for sale on my website, that you can take, that's fairly inexpensive, that you can learn a lot of this stuff too.
Yeah, we both teach courses on it, so you can
Yeah,
take both of
we
them.
we do. We both do it. We
Take them
both do it.
both.
Take all of it. The more you know.
Take
I've taken so many classes to learn
Oh,
what I
me too.
learned.
Yeah, me too.
And it was funny. I from time to time I have this happen. I just had it recently where someone called and made an appointment for a reading, and she wanted to know everything I know about being a psychic and a mediumship
Everything
in
you
an
know.
hour, so that she could go and start doing it herself. And I went, well, it's
Bye,
taken me
Diane.
22 years to do it.
Yeah.
Thank you, Spirit Song. Yeah, Spirit Song.
Oh,
I've
yeah,
known
of
her for a
course.
long, long time.
Mhm.
Thank you, honey. Bye,
Bye, Diane.
Diane. Super awesome name, Dean. I just want to call her Diane Tropicana Dean. It's just going to be her name from now on. What a cool name. Yeah, thank you, Spirit Song. We have Yeah,
Yeah.
you did. You obviously did, Shaylee. I'm gonna put that one up because I like her comment. Thank you, Spirit Song. And then Shaylee saying, I think it brought a lot of knowledge from past lives. Yeah. Yeah, most of us that do this work have, and because it's really important right now. We've got a lot of stuff going on, and so many of us are, we're needed here. We're needed to do this work. It's been something that's been told it's bad, you're not do it, it's evil, and so many of us that have these skills that have been afraid to use them. And in the past, 20, 30 years, it's really been opening up to where people are coming out of the psychic closet, right? And we're starting to do our work and use these wonderful gifts that we have. So yeah. And I'm a huge proponent on getting trained. It's just my thing. That's what I did. When I first started, I had some, scary things. I had some scary things as a kid too. And I just really felt that getting trained from multiple um, teachers too. I always believe in um, getting multiple teachers and multiple
Yeah.
uh, perceptions and and different ways to do it too. All the different things. I had all my little certificates on the wall, and I had an old boyfriend that I was dating, and he came to my office and he goes, "This is just obnoxious. Take this crap off the wall."
Oh, how obnoxious is he to say that?
Oh, he was so obnoxious. But I was like, "Oh no, I'm being too ta-da." So he turned out to be a arse, a donkey's rear
Sounds
end.
like there's a few of those around. All right, but hey, that's part of helping us appreciate the ones who aren't.
Well, and that was one of the ones that had I listened to my intuition, I never would have gotten involved with in the first place because I thought he was an arse when I first met him. And he kept at it, and finally it's like, fine, I will go out with you. And he was on his best behavior until he had me hooked. And then he did the psychopath flippo changeo on me.
So he's
I
not psychic, he's psychotic.
I'm psychic, he's psychopath. But I did learn what a narcissistic psychopath is, what they do, how they mess with your head, and how to heal and how to get out of it and how to heal from it. So I gained a lot of skills from those 3 years of.
So that's what you needed, obviously.
Yeah, I still wish I had to listen to my red flags though.
I hear you. Had a few like that myself.
Yeah, we all do, don't we?
Yeah.
Woo!
All right. Well, this has been fun as usual.
Yeah, thank you guys. So excited. And would love to, anybody that is watching this show later would love to see comments down below about, your experiences with being psychic and if you have any questions as well about it. I know Sharon and I check our YouTubes. We've got it across 3 different YouTube channels. Sharon's got her YouTube channel. I've got mine, and then we have New Earth Rising too. So we'll be checking on those and
Mhm.
getting back to you. And of course, if you guys need to get a hold of us at all, matter of fact, I'm going to put this up. Get a hold of Sharon Sananda at SharonSananda.com. She's got all
Mhm.
kinds of good stuff. She's got her list of classes that she does and services that she does. She also has an accredited academy, the Kamara Academy,
Mhm.
with amazing classes and stuff. And then it's pretty cool. It's our names, right?
Nice.
MIcheleAndergy.com. And I've got also accredited. Matter of fact, Sharon told me about hers being accredited, and I was like, what? And so I went, Sharon
Yeah.
always gives me great ideas.
We
And
give each
so
other great ideas.
yeah, and I'm also accredited and have all kinds of stuff on there, and I have evergreens. I have recorded classes that are up there as well. I think you do too, Sharon, don't you?
Not yet.
Not yet? Ooh, it's a good deal. It's a good deal. So, got that up there and some meditations and stuff for you guys too. So, go check it out. Check
Yeah,
us out. You
check us
guys will
out.
love it. And, we have very active YouTube channels as well. So, stick around, subscribe, love us, give us thumbs up, poke the bell.
And Spirit Song, send me a message. I would love to have you on my show.
Yeah.
Anyone else that would love to be on my show
Yeah.
or
Sharon's
here?
great at doing the interviews. I'm just getting started doing them again. I used to do them all the time and I got burned out. So,
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. No, I love
yeah,
doing
you
them.
have really fun stuff on there.
All right, peeps.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
guys.
you. Yeah.
And we love you. Thank you for
Mhm.
being here. We love our followers who are here every week all the time, and those of you who are chit-chatting with us, and those of you that are lurking behind the scenes, we love you too because we're grateful for you. Not everybody wants to, pop out, but you're here and you're a part of the love and the energy that we got here. So we appreciate you guys too. So Sharon, as always, you're awesome. I love you too.
Oh, mwah. I love you too.
Yay. And as I say always to people, just stay sparkly, okay? Stay sparkly, everything will be fine. Bye, guys.
Bye. Mwah.